Hello, everyone. IMS welcomes you all to Feature You, Set Your Career Compass Right with Experts Insight. And I'm Kalyani Majumdar, your host for today's webinar. So today our topic is careers in finance. This is part 2, and we are focusing on corporate banking. So in this webinar, you'll find out about what is corporate banking, what does it encompass, career progression in corporate banking, what are the various job opportunities available, key skills to excel as a corporate banker, and more. And so today for this session, our speaker is Sushmit Pal. He's a senior relationship manager at ICICI Bank. Sushmit is an alumnus of JBIMS. He worked as a senior engineer for 3 years with the German firm ThyssenKrupp Industrial Solutions before choosing to pursue an MBA and a career in finance with ICICI Bank. So welcome, Sushmit Pal, and thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, Kalyani, thank you for inviting me for this session.
So let's start with your career trajectory, right from your MBA to ICICI. So basically, also do talk about, your transition from engineering to finance. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just start from, so I've done my engineering from Mumbai University, be in electrical. Okay, then I had 3 years work in ThyssenKrupp Industrial Solutions. Here I worked as a senior engineer for building chemical plants. So, okay, I had this exposure of, how plants work, how this engineering thing works, the basic expertise in the EPC firms, okay, with engineering, procurement and construction firms. And post that, I was feeling to take the next step ahead. That's MBA. So in 2015, I gave my MS CAT and got a 99 plus percentile, and I got to get into JBIMS. Then in 2015, I think we joined around month of June. Karin, just want to check with you, are these the target audience are the people who have got through their B schools or they are MBA aspirants now?
They'll be taking CAT this year. Yeah.
This year. Okay.
So basically MBA aspirants. So yeah.
Aspirants itself. Okay.
So also, but how did you choose finance? As in, was it because you went into JBIMS? So that's the reason, or
no.
Did you decide before that?
I went with a complete open mind, okay, not deciding to marketing, I have to do or finance or operations or HR, something like this. First year is having general, all the subjects we have to study. I had a very open mind about what I want, what all options do I have, what are the pros and cons of each and every industry, and where do my likes resonates with which kind of career. So the first year went back like that. I had my internship with ICICI Bank itself in the SME department in summer internship. I had got a pre-placement offer also. So working over this 2 months, it gave me a more confidence that this is, where my liking is and where I would like to have my career. So this 2 months of summer internship gave me a very clear idea about that. I have done small corporate projects in other fields also, finance. But this is somewhere where I felt that this is, where I wanted to be. Okay. So that's the result. I took a finance specialization my second year.
Okay.
In JBIMS. And JB has amazing finance faculty that's there. All the finance stalwarts are also from there. So yeah, that's how I decided to take, and you feel that, engineers have that analytical skills, but in finance it's more about number crunching, about the story comes out of these numbers. So, there was a bit of an association also.
Okay.
I'll not say both are completely different, but yeah. And then I joined ICICI Bank in 2017 as management trainee. And today, after 5 years, 2022, I am a senior relationship manager here. I'll be completing around 5 years in corporate banking.
Okay.
Year. And I'm handling a portfolio. I'm in a team which handles a portfolio of about 17,000 crore. Okay. So you can check the number, how big it is.
Yeah.
So what kind of responsibility it is, huh?
So, can you take us through the job description of a corporate banker?
Okay.
And also, how exactly, maybe you can take it in parts, like as in from entry level to senior level. How exactly?
Okay.
Corporate bank.
Sure.
Well,
so people who don't.
Yeah.
I just make it understand from a very layman perspective about what is corporate banking. I assume all your the participants in this meeting must have visited a bank for sure. Okay, in the personal
Correct.
capacity, ATM, check this,
Correct.
DD, something or the other thing you might have done in a bank. So you went here as a retail customer, on your individual capacity to the bank. Now, similarly, when a corporate or a company comes to a bank, it will be so we are there. The corporate banking team is there to cater all his financial and banking requirements. Okay, so why do a company comes to a bank? Okay, it might be into for a capital expenditure, for its revenue purpose, revenue management, or for its investment purpose. So basically, guys, so for all these requirements, the corporates come for banks. Okay, so what do we do as a start? When we started my career, we started understanding the banking ecosystem, like what are our stakeholders are there, our corporate clients, our internal legal compliance, because these are not what we are taught in our B schools. Okay, that you have to collaborate with all these people. But see, B schools also we have law subjects, but the intensity increases as we are there in our workspace. We understand the implications of law, compliance, various other details. We learn about finance basics, but it's more about when you're there on the work, we learn about the like when I started my career, I was into more of financial modeling of the various corporates, the financial due diligence, the credit appraisal. Then we started monitoring the credit limits. Then we provide customized solutions to our corporates to the as per their needs. We that is there. Then you also there to increase our loan portfolio. We have to acquire new clients. That's there. Then also helping in their treasury deals, cross currency, commodity, various other stuffs are there. Then initially we're also when we're starting our journey, it's more about the regulatory requirements for our corporates. That's how we start.
Okay.
Then we grow about, we accompany our start, after the first year, maybe we start accompanying our seniors for client meetings, for the business discussions to understand, from the client perspective, how things happen. Then, after a certain point of time, you source business, you have to bring business for the bank. Okay. For that, we interact with a lot of capital advisory firms, corporates, banks, real estate firms, private equity firms, and the other banks also.
Okay.
And we are involved also to the end-to-end documentation of the loan sanctioning to disbursement. Then we are also associated with the the building the bank strategy, the wholesale banking, how the bank should take. My own bank has moved from a project finance bank to a ecosystem-driven bank. Then bank has also seen digitization, especially in terms of Corona, how the documentation.
Tell me something. How exactly? If you can just tell us first, maybe from entry level to senior level, how do you go up in corporate banking? And then, because when you're talking about the job description, this is like a lot. But that's almost like corporate banking under the umbrella of corporate banking.
Yes.
All those things are there, right?
Yes,
so if you can just tell us first, maybe from entry level to senior level, how do you grow?
So guys,
and then how your job responsibilities kind of go broader
increase.
as
Yes. So when we joined the bank initially, so we were assisting our relationship manager. We were assist ARMs. Okay, we were assisting our seniors to look for a particular portfolio. The portfolio size is definitely smaller. Okay. With time and you get a chance to do sector agnostic deals. Various sectors, you will not be limited to one particular sector itself. There will be various variety of deals, variety of structures of deal. So there is nothing no boring or something. I think that kind of what you will feel. People feel that corporate banking is boring and same routine job. It's not. It's not. You get a variety, different. Every day is a different kind of deal coming in through where you just do this, that. So you will see the difference. Okay. So we assess the RMs initially. Then when we become the confident, our seniors start finding confidence ourselves when we individually handle our clients. Okay. Then the responsibility keeps on increasing of taking care of the client holistically with terms of the other treasury, transaction banking, the retail banking. It just grows up, the responsibility from various aspects. We need to help our client. So our roles and responsibility keep on increasing. The portfolio size keeps on increasing. So that's how the growth happens in a corporate banking division.
Okay. So for a senior person, how exactly, or for a typical corporate banker, what's the typical day like? So as you said, like, it has got like a lot of deals making and all that. But
Hmm.
how is a typical day for you?
Okay, so firstly, you have to read the newspapers daily. Okay, when you wake up, you have to be aware of what's happening in the market, whatever, how the macros are affecting our business, our clients. That's very critical of understanding. Okay,
Mm.
then we look after. See, there's a particular loan portfolio that we're already handling.
Okay.
Okay, okay. So our income, our objective here is to make more money of the existing client, or getting more clients to the bank. Okay, I just simply explain you. There's something
Hmm.
called as
Yeah.
farming and there's something called as hunting.
Okay.
Okay, very layman terms I'm telling you. Farming is same land you farm and get more crops,
Yeah.
more yield. Similarly, for hunting, you go and capture more land for
Okay.
your own assets. So
Hmm.
that's how the bank also looks into that. The portfolio has to keep on increasing with time. Similarly, there's also see what all we analyze with terms of risk also. Okay,
Okay.
whether our client is doing good or not, whether we need to reduce our exposure, increase our exposure, what has to be done.
Hmm.
If there is a certain deal, like example I'm giving now, the Ukraine-Russian war is
Yes.
going on. So the banks will analyze, which all companies, where there's a Russian uh, parentage or some association. Do
Hmm.
we need to continue our relationship with that? How do we need to handle that exposure?
Okay.
Because there's a risk keeping on because of so much sanctions which are there against Russia. How's that going to impact our business?
Right.
So all these things we have to see. We have to check our numbers, how they are progressing. Various banks, a lot of products, a lot of things. Every day MISs, we have to see, evaluate how our portfolio is progressing day in and day out. A
Okay.
lot of meetings happen with our clients. The group I handle has almost around 120 subsidiaries.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
meetings and all keep on happening throughout the day. You're
Okay.
there out of the office and in office. Then you have to, after you meet the client, you come back to the office, you discuss with your internal stakeholders what are the best solutions that you can give.
Okay. Okay.
So the entire day is
Okay.
covered like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's take two questions.
Hmm.
I'm going to pursue my career in finance, so I'm confused what to choose. Like, there are so many subjects. Can you give a guidance regarding that? What, according to you, is the best field in finance?
See, this is very subjective. There is nothing best.
Yes.
It's all up to you.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I'll just tell you what are the various options that are available in finance specifically. So corporate banking is one of them. I think the first session was from an equity research guy.
Yes.
Then there might be some next session might be from an investment
Yes.
banker.
Yes.
Then there's a credit rating agencies. Corporate finance is another subject.
Right.
Treasury is there. So there are various other niche roles also. There's nothing best. You have to spend time in each. And see, MBA is a 2-year journey. First year, please, if you're very sure if you want to do about finance itself,
Hmm.
then please take corporate projects, understand each and every role. Okay, then only you will be able to understand what is best for you is more important
Hmm.
rather than what is best in the field.
Correct.
Okay, it's also a perspective, in terms of your compensation,
Hmm.
your work-life balance. There's also comes into picture.
Right.
Okay,
Hmm.
so it all depends on you. Okay, so my advice will be to you is to take corporate projects from these all sectors and then have an understanding about, because taking career professionally is very critical.
Hmm.
Okay, for professional and personal growth both. So when you have these 2 years, and guys, you can switch to any field. It's not switching gets difficult. If you have good knowledge, you can switch to any field. That's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where can we find finance projects as an
See,
individual?
there you have to, yeah. So you have to see when you're there, you in B schools now. When you go to B schools, a lot of corporate projects come to the placement committees there, and they will be as per your requirement, as per their requirement. If you get selected, you will get these projects. And also, you guys, there's a LinkedIn is an open space. You can ask people for various jobs. I know banks and all it will be a bit difficult to get projects, but IB firms, boutique, capital advisory firms, you should definitely request people on internship for small duration of time. Maybe unpaid is also fine, but because your experience is more important in here.
Hmm.
So yeah, so through LinkedIn or through your contacts. See, this is also very important about networking. Okay,
Hmm.
we're building relationship with people. You have to make friends across the industry. So if I am a corporate banker, I will we definitely associate with my other corporate banking friends, but also to investment bankers, to other capital advisory friends, equity research. It's an interconnected economy. You have to be connected. Similarly. So now, as your MBA aspirants, you have to have a good LinkedIn profile first for sure. Then you have to keep adding people from different sectors. How everyone will be at a 5-10 minutes. People can spare to explain a bit more about their experiences, what they felt, their pros and cons, because everyone is having their own journey also. Okay. And there are a lot of people who have shifted in and out, maybe from investment banking to corporate banking to investment banking. People have made those transitions also.
Yeah.
Might be less, but people have done. So please do talk with them. The more you talk, the more ideas will flow in. So it's difficult to get, Kalyani, but it's not impossible also.
Yeah. But tell me, how exactly, what exactly can they be doing now for profile building? One, of course, you said like they can create a nice, good LinkedIn profile for themselves and all that. But
yes.
they are all basically right now preparing for CAT, taking CAT this year or taking CAT next year. So
next year, okay.
yeah. So basically, what all they can do now to build their profile.
I'll just tell you, guys, when you go to B school, everyone will be a topper. Everyone will be having an excellent CV. You will go there, you will realize there everyone will be topper, this, that, achievers. So now is a time to, what you have done in past, please summarize those things. Okay. Good time is there now. Okay. School, say like from your first standard to now engineering or your graduation, whatever you have done, you please, have this summary of your highlights of your journey till now, something or the other thing you might have done. So for past, you do that and keep. Okay. Okay. And Kalyani, it's also important to have a good CV also, and also have presenting that CV. So both are equally important. Okay, so if people who are going for finance, guys, so in corporate banking, your FRM and CFA are not very important, but for the other job, like the investment banking or equity research, FRM, CFA are advisable. These are good pointers in your CV. So if you give these, but these are costly, guys. This is not cheap. So people who can afford, please go ahead, do those certifications if you have time. And see, now also, if you get this opportunity to work with corporates, in some or the other field, please do take it. Okay. Right. Now I believe few of them might be freshers, still there in the colleges, and few might be having work experience, right? So get some experience which is outside your corporate. People are working some other corporates, and people who are in the graduation, please take some internship. Even it might be related to your engineering field only. Okay. A good experience, a good name in your CV, creates that difference. So try to interact with people and get those kind of, liners in your CV that you have, interned or done a corporate project with so and so company. So okay, that's very important.
Apart from internships, so there is a question about you had work experience after graduation and before doing an MBA. So you had quite a bit of talking points in your resume. So what about people who are completely without any work experience? So okay, they can probably get into do some kind of internship and all that. But what if right after graduation, they're moving to MBA. Is it very difficult for them without any work experience to understand or to approach a career path?
No, it's not. It's not difficult. I've seen them doing really well. People who my batchmates who have been freshers, they also have fared equally well as I have. So it's not a difference. It's how about your agility, how you are able to adapt to things faster. Okay, once you're there in the B school, everyone the corporates will keep on interacting with you. It's going to be very fast. 2 years will go very soon. You'll not be able to realize also. Okay, so you have to pick up your pace that time, and you have to see people who work will always know how corporates work, what are the kind of things which happens, how they have to deal with things. That's important, but all these things, street smartness is something you learn in your life also. So it's not something very different. A lot of companies, guys, prefer who are freshers. Okay, because companies feel that they are coming with an open mind, whereas people who have work ex will come with a and have a closed mind about how corporates work. And freshers are expected to have more fresh ideas. Okay. So it's not a baggage, guys. See, it's all about how you make the best out of your 2 years. Okay, that time.
Okay.
So apart from the internships, guys, please in those 2 years participate in corporate competitions also. There will be a lot of corporate competitions. Please participate there, and please interact with your peers who are from different industry. An engineer, being an engineer is the same thing, but try to interact with people from other graduation streams also. Maybe a doctor, maybe a lawyer. See, you will have batchmates coming from these different sectors also. So this, the ideas needs to mix. You need to open your mind. All these things happens in your MBA.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And guys, apart from sorry, Kalyani. Apart from building your CV, guys, it's also very important to develop your personality. Guys, if you feel that your English is not up to the mark, so please work on it. If you feel you're not able to articulate well, okay, please work on that, because in your B school, almost everyone will have excellent CVs. Okay, so difference will be how you communicate, how your communication skills. That's going to make the difference. How confident you sound. Okay, you might have done 100 things, but if you're not able to explain, even 10 things in your interview, then that experience and the CV and building the profile is not worth then. So please develop your personality, your speaking skills, your communications. All this is very, very important. So that also please take care now. These are all soft skills. It takes time, but please do develop during this now also.
But you have had a engineering background, and then you got into finance. So how exactly did you convince during the interview that you are meant for finance? Apart from the subjects that you took, of course. But
so okay, I just explained very layman way. So engineer, when I was there and I was working in a plant, so I know how plant works. Okay, I was building plants. So I was in EPC, engineering, procurement, construction industry. So I had that expertise of understanding in 3 years what all happens there. So now I had to look in terms of finance. Okay, now if a bank is investing in a project, which is a plant, how long, what all things can it delayed, where it is getting delayed, is it okay or not? My returns, how will be, whether it will be in time, whether it's a project worth my client is investing in the right decision or not, whether I should be associated with or not. So that experience helps. Now, guys, currently the portfolio that I'm handling is also an EPC client itself. Okay. So that, the experience of my 3 years, that helped.
Right.
So so that was complementary to what work I'm doing now.
How can gaining a CFA charter holder help in chartered accountant holder? I think, how can gaining a CFA helps in financial sector? I think in equity research, you've already answered that.
In equity research, investment banking, all these, roles, they really need the CFA. The expertise, definitely knowledge is required, but degrees are also help you there. Some of the companies may help you and you are paying the fees also. So that's there. In corporate banking, it is not required much. Okay.
Is portfolio management part of corporate banking, or is it like
yes. So see, here the word is a very umbrella word again. Okay. See, portfolio management, you might be looking at your shares that you hold. That's your small portfolio management. Here, if I'm handling a 17,000 crore exposure of the bank, that's my portfolio and I have to manage it. Okay. Where I have to exit, where I have to make entry is in a particular company. If the risk is more, how do I, get out? If I feel that I'm not able to make money out of that client, what else should I do to increase it? Should I leave it? Or should I reduce my exposure? All these kind of decisions is again a part of portfolio management only. You have to check the risk, you have to check the reward. Okay. The mix of both you have to do.
There's a question about I'm a biotechnology graduate and partial towards a career in finance. How can I amp up my profile to justify this drastic career change? Fresh graduate, 0-year work experience.
See, everyone is having a drastic career change. You are not the one person. Everyone. In B school, you go, half the people are like that itself.
Okay.
So that you will not be the one who's different. Guys, it's very important to have a good knowledge. Okay. Your basic understanding of finance has to be there. Whatever is written in your CV, you have to have that knowledge. How does a guy start looking at the annual reports now? I'm sure many of you might be investing in shares also. So please have this understanding. So what logic you use when you buy a particular share or sell a particular share. So all these things keep handy, in explaining your journey to the interview or or the B school. Guys, I hope you know that there's an interview which happens for getting into B schools also.
Okay.
Yeah. There also you will be same questions will be asked. Why do you want to take finance or marketing? Yeah.
Okay. Corporate banking versus investment banking. I knew this question will come up.
So guys,
investment banking, everybody thinks like investment banking is a very glamorous job. It's fast.
Yes.
As corporate banking is a very boring job. This is what the general understanding is. So if you could
correct.
Some light.
So guys, in corporate banking, we are actually handling the money of the client. Okay.
Yes.
Like if I'm saying that so and so billion or 1,000 crore, I'm actually handling that's client's money. Okay. In investment banking, it's more about creating that capital than handling it. Okay. So I'll just give you what are the various things that investment bankers are into. They might be into a mergers and acquisition, small company buying a bigger company, or some kind of strategic association, or having a JV. Then there's a IPO, FPO. Then there's a rights issue, qualified QIPs, are there qualified institution placements, are there underwriting. All these things are the work profile of an investment banker, various, even there. They do have a buy side, they do have a sell side. Sell side is about trading of the securities. Buy side is about, giving advice to the client, what they should be doing. It's more about consulting there. Right. So that's the difference. Then coming to a B school perspective, the knowledge which IB people will be having is more extensive because they work on nitty-gritties and everything. So yes, they're going to have more in-depth knowledge than corporate banking folks. Right. And when we come to the jobs in your B school, you will see that for a one investment banking job, there are maybe 10 corporate banking jobs. Okay. So investment banking is a niche. They have a very flat structure, and definitely the pay is very high in investment banking as compared to corporate banking. But it is again at a cost. They have a very the working hours maybe 14 to 16 to 18 hours a day. Insane working hours they have. Here we have work-life balance, I'll say, in corporate banking. Okay. So it's all up to you, whichever pros and cons you feel suits you. So take your decision accordingly. Don't go about what others are doing. Take your decision. Okay. So you said something about remuneration. So there are some things about it. Like what exactly, roughly, what kind of currently, let's say if you pass out of a B school, okay, currently, nowadays a package which is being offered to corporate bankers and is in the range of around maybe 18 to 20 to something in that range, lakhs per annum. Okay, and investment banking might be in range of, depends on companies to company and which kind of role they take. You may see a lot of investment banking roles in India are back end. Okay. Very few go into the front end role. So if you go in the front end role, it might go to 40 plus also. But if you're in the back end role, which are the majority IB roles in India, you end up in the 25 to 30 bracket. Okay. Which is a bit more than what corporate banking people offer. So that's in terms of remuneration. Okay. So how's the work-life balance in corporate banking? Is it? See, I'll just tell. So we have heavy, quarter ends are heavy for us. Okay. That's there. So when I was an engineer, I never used to understand the concept of what is month end, quarter end. All these things were never there. Now there's a pressure mostly on these timelines of quarter and month end. Rather than that, there's not much of depending on your portfolio, what all deals are happening in your portfolio. If your client is very aggressive, it might be there in a lot of deals. Then you might have a lot of work on your table. If your client is not that aggressive, depends upon the economic condition of a country. Okay. If we are in a very strong economy, the companies will also want to do a lot of capital expenditure. Then banks will come in. So it's a function of all those things. Right. But generally, we have a pretty much okay work life. Only so some days are bad days. That's it. Okay. Portfolio manager in India versus abroad. Guys, there's a portfolio management is also different in terms of, see, we are in corporate banking. A retail guy will have his own portfolio. A treasury guy will have its own portfolio. So what portfolio you are talking, I'm not very clear about that. So we are now currently in the Indian market. It is not extremely volatile. So if you go into the abroad and different kind of banks, it might be having a mixed London or New York, Hong Kong, different kind of a thing. So the exposure will be a bit different. Flavor of the industry will be a bit more different because the macros which happen in, abroad is very much different than here.
Correct.
So that's it.
Okay. So can you tell us about say three hard skills and three soft skills that one should ideally have to excel in corporate banking?
Guys, firstly, your analytical skills has to be really good. The way you look at numbers, it has to be there. Good, really good.
Okay.
When I talk about numbers, it's also about building a story out of the numbers. Okay. What story that the numbers tell me? Is the thing shipping or it's, we are sailing or sinking? That's something which you have to, that knack of the business you have to understand whether, we have to do business with this particular client or not. That you have to develop your business acumen with time, with experience. That's there. Then when it comes to the other, like the soft skills, guys, I'll say your communication skill has to be really good. You will be interacting with the CFOs of the other corporates, okay, the finance team. They're extremely smart people. Okay, so you have to up your game that way itself. And plus you'll have the objective about selling your bank products, ensuring that you are the most preferred banker.
Okay.
Like the client that I am dealing with has around 24 bankers. I have to ensure that I am the their most preferred banker. I should have the right the right of first refusal. So that's how you develop your you have to build your relationship again with the client. So communication skill, relationship management, and definitely it's collaboration and team management. That's very important. If you have X number of people of your clients outside, you will have X number of people inside your organization, where you have to close the deal internally also. Okay. Like risk, compliance, treasury, a lot of other internal groups are there. So you have to, pursue the client's deal internally also, make them keep on the board, take them on board also for going ahead. So this collaboration and team management is very important. Negotiation. Okay, and I'm saying this last, but integrity is very, very important to bank. Good work ethics and integrity are the core value of any bank specifically or any other corporates that you decide to join. Guys, trust is the most important currency of bank. Okay, without trust, we do not have any customer. No one will keep their money, hard-earned money in our bank if there is no trust. So it all depends. So you need to have very high integrity here. That's there.
Okay. Can you talk about a little bit about some of the big challenges that a corporate banker might face? And maybe you can actually take some example from your like maybe a challenge that you face as a corporate banker.
See, like I said to you, Kalyani, that my client is having 24 banks. Yeah. Every bank is going and interacting with the client. How do I put myself ahead in the race in all the 24 banks? Guys, similar is going to happen to in your B schools also. You're going to have so many batchmates. Like all the B schools will have around 300, 400 people. How you will ensure that you are the recruiter takes you before they take others. Okay, it's all about putting that confidence in your client, firstly with your relationship and secondly with your products of the banks. Okay, with the product you are servicing. Okay, like रात के 10 बजे भी if my bank will definitely get closed, but then you have to help you service your client, in that terms. You have to go inside and we have to help. And guys, there will be certain deals which we will not be in favor of. Okay, doing. Because though they are good deals as per, but as a bank, if I do not see my interest there, I cannot go there. I will not lend thousands and thousands of crores of rupees if I do not see a profit there. Okay. So how do I adjust that my relationship also and my business also, so that next time if I refuse one proposal of he should again come to me only, and not to the person who has lent him for the first time, which I had refused. So it's about balancing this relationship is very critical. Okay. and people, there is too many people in the market to lend money. Okay, I mean, they may not be writing big checks, what we do in ICICI, but still, everyone has options in today's world. That's there, but it's all about the kind of offering, the customized offering that you're giving to him.
Mm.
Yes.
How is technology affecting the banking sector and job market for corporate bankers?
So Kalyani, technology has really changed the retail side. Okay,
Okay.
now it has completely changed. Now people who, I don't know how many of you have ICICI cards, but you can go to a bank and do a cardless withdrawal from ATMs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something which was never thought about. Similarly, a lot of other technology changes which has happened from our perspective also. We get a lot of analytics, data driven analytics to cross sell to our customers.
Correct.
Okay, a lot of technology in terms of I don't know how many of you use. Again, I'm advertising my own company, but if you look at the ICICI website and you look at the any other bank's website, the kind of technology difference, the kind of ease, the kind of comfort you're using through our apps, you'll see the difference. Now you are here as a retail customer, okay? So you have seen the growth. Earlier for things you have to go to bank. Ye karo, wo karo.
Yeah.
Now you can do the banking at home itself.
Yeah.
Okay, things have changed tremendously. Now, when we look at the corporate banking space, see, I'll not go into those internal like jargons and all, but we have now analyzing things at technology has enabled us to look at numbers in a earlier when I joined, we never used to get so much of data about our clients.
Correct.
Now with technology, the kind of data that we are getting on a daily basis, it's helping our business in a different way itself, that we are able to understand our clients thing before 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 they can take a decision, and we can go them and pitch them our products. So it has changed the banking sphere completely, and I don't know what's gonna see. People who see basically corporates are used to be involved in a lot of documentation, a lot of paperwork.
Correct.
Even though the top corporates, they will not be preferring to that digital mode, and they would be going to documentation mode. But through this COVID, kind of offerings that we have given to them, so a lot of corporates have now changed to that digital mode. So the swift, seamless, business banking is possible now.
Okay.
So people who are there in corporate finance and who uses all these bank products will tell you the stories about how things have changed for them.
Right.
The story is completely different with what is even they are getting an MISS of the kind of products that they're using at banks for their internal reviews and all this.
So what kind of questions usually are being asked during these when somebody is going for a corporate banking?
Okay, corporate banking rules. Firstly, they'll check your number skills. Okay, basically how well you are able to analyze the annual reports, the balance sheet and P&L. Okay, what are the ratios? They'll give you a few numbers and they'll see ki, acha, whether I should lend to this corporate or not. Tell me. Okay, they'll basically give you a case study. Okay, they'll prepare some kind of story that is a startup. This is the numbers for 3 years. Do you think that we should go in or not?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So like Shark Tank, many people have seen in terms of the equity investments. So similarly, those similar case studies will get in your interviews also. A company, X company is there, it's into a hospital or a hotel space. 3 years numbers is this. Promoter is so and so with so and so experience. You think should we invest in that? So here, what interviews look is your understanding of the business. How is your business acumen? What all you can see through the numbers. Okay, and yeah, and definitely while you're communicating all these numbers, they'll check your communication skills also, how confident you are about analyzing these numbers and making a story out of it. So these are critically important.
Okay, let me take few questions.
And guys,
yeah,
with corporate banking, see, generally a lot of people do not ask technical questions. Okay, especially if you go for summer internship now, people will not ask technical questions at all. Okay, so they will be asking you basically, tell me about yourself, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. They want to see how you answer all these questions. Because at the end of the day, you're going to interact with your clients. How is your communication? How are you able to put a difference with respect to the other candidates. That's very important. So I'm advising to all of you, please focus on your soft skill now. When you are preparing for your B schools, I think IMS also does a lot of training for the interviews and all. So please, participate into all these things, because CV is one thing, paper mein jo likha hai wo alag hai, and the way you say is very different. Okay, they will hear and they'll recruit you rather than seeing your profile.
Right.
Focus on that more than building just the CV.
Okay. Which certifications and courses are good for corporate banking?
See, I'm telling you again, so there is no particular courses you need for corporate banking. People will hear your skills about how you value analyze numbers, okay, which you learn in your B school.
Okay.
First year, they'll teach you about working capital management, your project finance. You learn all these things. Please attentively listen to all those lectures. That will be enough.
Okay.
Certifications and all you can do for if you are intending to, like, if you're open-minded and you're very sure that you want to take a career in finance only, but you're not sure about whether investment banking, corporate banking, or corporate finance and all, then you should go ahead with CFA and FRM.
Okay.
Otherwise, for corporate banking, I will not suggest anything in specific.
How to take that decision whether to go for MBA in finance or operations, and what all aspects you've considered?
Okay. So I'll just tell you about my MBA. So when I was working there in a company, okay, previously, I realized that I was just limited to the engineering, vertical of my company. Though I was working, I was not I was in a chemical industry. I was an electrical engineer. Okay. So I was not adding that value to the company. So I had learned during that time that if I wanted to be valued by my company. Okay. And when you get value to a company is when you're adding to the the revenue of the company, the growth of the company. So I always wanted to be in the the revenue centric roles where you will be valued by the company. Okay. So like for a bank, corporate banking is a revenue center. Okay. So if you're there in any corporate, the corporate finance team, there it's a cost center. Their products will be the revenue center. For suppose a company like Dabur, that's the people who are marketing and the product managers who are making the toothpaste and hair oils. That's the revenue center for that companies. For a bank, I am generating revenue. Okay. So I always wanted to be in this revenue generating sphere of the role. So that was a very conscious decision which I had taken even in finance. I thought I had to be in the revenue center. So guys, if you think that you are not good, see, revenue is also equal to sales. And guys, once you climb up the corporate ladder, you have to bring business for the client. Okay, so it has to be sales. Okay, so don't have this things in mind कि sales नहीं करना है, ये नहीं करना है. Be open-minded. Everyone who's there at the MD, ED level, everyone will bring business for the client. That is sales. Okay. So please be open-minded there. And yeah, a lot of people ask about this operation ka thing because engineers, they have that work experience and they think that. So guys, a lot of consulting firms are there in operation sector also. Supply chain management, they are there. Even we have in bank supply chain finance. Okay. So you need to interact with all these people, guys. That's very important to make a learned decision. So talk with all these people. A lot of people who have done MBA in operation, ask them what are the kind of job opportunities. Yes, the jobs might be less than what's available to a finance and marketing guys. Okay. But there are there. And if you have interest, you should really go ahead. If money is not the criteria in your mind.
So how is consulting different from career as a corporate banker?
Achha, consulting is a very, very different thing. I don't know if IMS is also planning to take some consulting session there.
Yeah, we are done one session and we'll be doing another one.
Okay. So guys, see, like as a bank, if we have to take some strategy decision, okay, then a lot of time our senior management takes help of these consultants, specifically in terms of even technology consulting. How should we optimize our processes? So we have been working in a particular way. So consultants do guide us to work in a different way. Similarly, in terms of consulting is also there for the HR organization restructuring, which happens. It's also, so it also happens in the people who work in plants, how to improve the operational efficiency,
Mm.
operational transformation, how to bring in those kind of jobs is there.
Oh,
So whether like suppose ICICI banks want to open a branch, we have internationally, we are there in New York, Dubai, and
mm.
London. But if we want to go open some new company, okay, we will go to a consultant case whether that market is good for us or not. They will give us a whole synopsis about the pros and cons, and whether you should go ahead, and what are the rules and regulations. I as a banker might not be able to understand, but that's their duty, to do all the due diligence, but all the regulations, this that which is there. So I'm just explaining you in terms of consulting and banking, but
Yeah.
it can be like it can be in terms of simple to tomorrow. If Dabur suppose wants to come up with a product, food product, okay,
Mm.
something edible, then they will go to consultants whether they should go into that market or not. Some geography, the particular geography, if they want to go or not. So all these kind of strategic decisions are consultants helping.
Okay. Is risk analyst part of, does it come under corporate banking or is it under corporate finance?
No, it comes under corporate banking umbrella, but in banks we have a different. See, we are bringing the deal for the bank. Okay,
Yeah.
we only cannot do the risk analysis. There's a risk team which will review our reports and then give a decision to the credit forums, which is internal credit forums. Okay, so internally we have a different teams, risk team, because it will be conflict of interest. Acha, I have brought this deal to let it pass karwa do, usko de do paisa. It should not be like that. There should be some team who is monitoring without any bias there, because here we are corporate bankers source the deal themselves. Okay, so there has to be an internal teams which looks on the deal without any bias. Okay, and see, we will be able to, corporate bankers also will be able to do on a superficial level ki, see, risk is basically what, whether my client will be able to pay the money or not, and whether he has the intention to pay or not.
Mm. Mm.
Correct.
Correct.
I
Mm.
will do the basic judgment, and the inner, more judgment will be made by my risk team. So
Mm.
again, with different banks have the different structures. So
Mm. Mm.
at ICICI we have different teams.
Okay. Okay. Corporate banker in ICICI Bank versus in JP Morgan, what would be the major difference?
See, firstly, the lean structure. Okay, JP Morgan, an MNC bank will not be interested to invest in different kind of companies. It will select very selected portfolio. It will have.
Okay.
Okay, actually, firstly, the strategy of MNC banks mostly is to invest in very few companies where they get good returns. And this MNC bank, whether it's Bank of America or Deutsche, Credit Suisse, or JP Morgan, they will be more into the trade finance part. Okay, where they have expertise and they have trade solutions more.
Hmm. Hmm.
So these banks have been working abroad, so they have their own system of software, or the kind of systems
Hmm.
which help in the trade finance part. So their focus will be more into this. And guys, they will not be writing such big checks what we do.
Okay.
Again, that's the business will be limited. JP Morgan also has a corporate banking division to them,
Okay. Hmm.
but they will be working in a very niche deals only.
Okay. Okay. What
Okay,
one should choose, a good profile or good pay in the starting years as a corporate banker?
guys, it's again up to you. If good pay will come at a cost,
Mm.
okay, it will be, if you are ready to slog in the initial years of your career, then please go with good pay. If you can work for 16, 18 hours initially, like 2, 3 years or 4, 5 years, if you are fine with that, please go ahead with good pay. If you are fine with that, but good profiles are also very less in the market. It's also important that you get recognition in whichever company that you're going in. That's also very important. You have to be valued there. Okay, and you should have scope to prove yourself also. Okay, it should not be there ki the company has a strategy and I'm working towards it. You have to present your ideas to the company where you will get appreciated. So definitely not after passing MBA, you should not never go for very less pay also, because what happens is, Kalyani and I can also say after our corporate experience that you change from one company to another company, then you give a hike around 20 to 30% kind of a growth. So that growth, you will take so much of changes in your career to get to a higher level. Okay, so there's going to be difference. So please start at a good pay also. Don't devalue yourself a lot.
Okay. The last question, which is also a kind of, a tip from you, or maybe a few suggestions from you for all the CAT aspirants who are now preparing for CAT, what all they can do for their CVs, for their profile building, and if they have decided that they want to get into finance, what all they can do now.
Okay, guys, firstly, for people who have not decided what they want to do, who have an open mind, first year is there for you. You know, just see, first your goal has to be clearing CAT. Okay, that has to be the first goal. Then you can think about all these things. So set your timelines accordingly. That you have to clear all these B school, get a good percentile. Then you have to prepare yourself for the interviews. Okay, which will come by the B school professors will be taking. Okay, for that also you have to build your own resume. Okay, it might be in their standard resume or the existing. So please, they summarize all your achievements in life, whichever you have. Okay, which you feel, and the main uh, focus here will be to impress the other person here, guys. That's very important. Whether it's your B school professor or whether it's your recruiter, you have to impress. You have to be very rhetoric to the other person. You have to leave a print in his mind about yourself that he recruits you. Okay, that's very important. uh, so build your people who do not have a good communication skill, please improvise on that. Please be articulate. Okay, whatever, if you have 10 things, 100 things, the 10 most important things what you have to say about yourself, please keep a note out of it. Everyone is a big fan of good brands. Okay, so if in your CV, if you're able to have those, let's say you have worked for so and so brand, you have worked for so and so company, people will appreciate that more. So try to work, get a chance to work with big firms or good names on there are a lot of startups also give you the opportunity. I think you can take internships there also. A lot of startups are there. See, so that is startups the space where the business actually happens. They are building from the scratch. So your contribution to these firms will be more than what you can explain to the interviewer. Okay, so people want to hear your story more, what you can bring on board to them. So build your story accordingly. So you will understand with time that storytelling, which your parents used to tell you. Now you have to tell stories to your recruiters about yourself in a very rhetoric way. Impress them. And guys, at the end, I'll say ki, like MBA is not the end of life. If you don't get, it's fine. A lot of achievers are there without their MBA degrees also. So don't ruin your mental health. Be happy in life, and then don't take too much of stress. That's there.
All right. So that's all we have time for. And I would like to thank all the attendees and all you attendees. If you have any questions that you would like to ask Sushmit, you can either forward those to me or you can send it to him on LinkedIn and he'll be happy to answer. And thank you, Sushmit.
Thank you. Thank you, Kalyan.
Yeah. Thank you.